My name is Enrique Torres, and I'm the project manager of this thing here. And I'm currently still studying in Vienna, but I'm originally from Jena and happy to be back in the city and to have a reason to be active here. What is künstlerische Tatsachen? It developed as a project in the midst of the corona pandemic and as an invitation to develop a project for the magazine that you will see there, which is a part of the TRAFO that has been that is open since 2018. And since there were no events with large crowds possible, we thought a residency program would be a very nice way to tackle that issue. And in Jena, the city of science, what else than arts and science could you expect, and what else would make sense here? So these were the very first moments, and then from there we had a very iterative process of concept development with many people that gave feedback, such as Ingeborg Reichle and Klaus Schöning, that is somewhere here in the audience, or maybe, there he is. He will also be part of the panel later. And then at the end, and after a lot of feedback sessions, we came to this very simple concept of we invite 5 artists internationally through an open call to Jena and create matches with scientists in the city and create a joint research. And the project's name developed from Entstehung einer künstlerischen Tatsache, which is a loose quote from a book title of Ludwig Fleck, Entstehung einer wissenschaftlichen Tatsache, a scientific fact. And he introduced the idea of the social element in science, and that there is not such a thing as like an objective truth in a sense, but it's all a social endeavor. And introducing artists in that endeavor sounded like a very fruitful idea, and especially in the times where scientists lost a lot of credibility due to a lot of fake news during the corona pandemic, which was also kind of the thing where we started this project development from. So, and now I would say the most important capacity of this project is the creation of this interdisciplinary moments of informal exchange, of joint research, of artistic research, and the question of what that actually is. And we'll try to elaborate that in the next few months, and also did in the last edition, and you can see the publication there if you're interested to browse through. And this whole concept is only possible with a huge team and so many beautiful people that gave their hearts and ideas into this process. And one of them is with me on stage, Elodie. Please carry on.
Yeah. Thank you, Enrique. I'm glad to host this evening together with you. I will start to introduce the team by myself. This may seem a bit selfish. I'm also originally from Jena, like some members of the team, but I just returned recently to my hometown after studying cultural policy and cultural studies at the University of Hildesheim. And I lived like several years in Morocco developing their cultural projects. And now I'm back working as a science coordinator together with Enrique, but also with other team members who take care of every tiny aspect of this arts and science residency. And I would like to start by introducing Sarah, which I can't spot right now, but she may be around. And where? Where she is? Over there. Okay, here's Sarah, next to Hannah. And so Sarah is responsible for all the aspects of cooperation and finances. So every cooperation agreement, concept paper, and applications for funding go through Sarah's hands. She keeps an eye on where our project might end up in the long term, and develops together with Enrique and also Vincent and Gabriel the whole concept of this arts and science residency.
Vincent Maurer, behind the streaming decks, is an all-rounder. He studied cultural studies and digital media at Leuphana University Lüneburg and graduated very recently with a bachelor's degree. In the numerous projects he has already accompanied as a volunteer, he has gained experience in curation, project management, and artist support and marketing. In our project, Vincent is involved in all decisions concerning the productions at site. Working very closely with the artists, he makes sure that everything needed is there at TRAFO, from the drilling machine to the cinema hall.
As you already can kind of hear, lots of us are studying in culture studies or media studies, as well as Sarah, which I just introduced. And also another team member, Gabriel Dörner, is actually studied at the Bauhaus University in Weimar, communication design, is also originally from Thuringia, and is enrolled nowadays in a cultural education master's program at the Kulturcampus Hildesheim, where he specializes in public relations and project management. In our team, Gabriel primarily takes care of every communication aspect of the project. Moreover, he is as well responsible for the conception of this year's participatory program KT Fellows, which also just happened today, so the first little tiny bit of this program.
Now we introduce you to our photographer of the year, Anna Perechaya, a German-based visual artist with a Ukraine background. She studied journalism at University of Kiev and photography at Moving Image at Bauhaus University Weimar and Leipzig Academy of Visual Arts. In her work, she deals with social political issues and transformations, especially in post-Soviet societies, as well as public and private spaces.
And of course, I'm not working alone in the science coordination department. I'm working very closely with Philipp Pastrick, who's also here today. And Philipp and me, we joined the board this year. Philipp is native of Leipzig, and currently he's the only one actually who works in natural sciences and who studied in natural sciences, like of our core team. He completed a master's degree in physics at the Friedrich Schiller Universität Jena and is currently a team leader for a Jena-based tech company. Together, we reached out to local science partners and international scientists to touch base on this year's main theme, tension.
Bear with us, our team is still larger than that. We have two members who cannot be here today, but still need introduction. Julko was here with her dog a few minutes ago, but she cannot stay longer. And she's currently studying critical studies at the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna and is about to graduate. Previously, she studied in Jena. At Künstlerische Tatsachen, Jul takes care of what happens to the finished artworks after the residency. Whatever they will find their home in Jena's institutions, be sold to private individuals, or continue to be shown in further exhibitions, Jul will manage that.
A few weeks ago...
Oh, sorry, Devs. And also, for the next 3 months, Luise Wolter will support us in the content creation area of public relations. Luise grew up in Lisbon and Erfurt. She studied visuals communication at Bauhaus University Weimar in her bachelor's degree with a focus on graphic design and photography. Now, please, sorry.
Now we can come to Roland Kiss, who is also a very important team member since some weeks. He joined Vincent, who's there, on every aspect of the production. He ensures that this year's residents and guests have a good time in Jena. He studied also at the Bauhaus University Weimar until 2021 and conducted research on non-commercial, sustainable and social product design. So his expertise is a great asset to the project, and his energy enriches every tiny aspect of the teamwork. And as I already mentioned as well, there is the KT Fellows program. And thanks to the workshop leaders Vanessa Flesch, Rosemarie Weinlich, Paulina Wandruschka, as well as Paul Knopp as a videographer, Daniel can complete this very, I think, fruitful exchange between arts and science and the citizens of the city of Jena.
Now to very honorable mentions. of the, I would say, surrounding orbit of künstlerische Tatsachen, Kilian Rüß, who is setting up a data structure so we can give over all the experience that we gathered over the years, and also to make the network that has grown over künstlerische Tatsachen more visible. So that is Kilian's responsibility as data visualization. And he's also consulting us in scientific efforts. We try to accompany this whole process of the residency with interviews, with studies, with questionnaires, and Kilian helps us develop that, together with Marie Niederleitinger. And there's also Florian Fridtjof-Dossin, part of the ins Netz e.V. He helps with interior planning of the magazine, which is a very complicated and old rusty building, so that's very much appreciated. And Natjen Küsel for sustainability management and funding acquisition.
And of course, there are lots of helping hands to complete this long list. Without them, all the community activities and production activities could not be conducted successfully. So I would like to thank you, Rebecca Relius, Hanna Hollweg, who is also here today, Johann Oltrogge, Lena Knape, Helena Biering, Anais Schicht und Caroline Schmidt. Thank you for your work and being on board this year.
So, and the TRAFO and the TRAFO team is my next topic. I hope you're still on board. So first, very big up for Matthias Zeuner, who's taking care of the sound this evening and almost all evenings at TRAFO and all the concerts. Stefan Hake, who's also somewhere here, I think, who's the booker of the TRAFO and also very much taking care of the house, so everything stays nice and tidy and we can host these events here. Also Anais Schicht and Caro Schmidt as the parts of the production team of the TRAFO. And maybe a few brief words about the house. So the TRAFO is part of the first industrial development in Jena and was developed in conjunction with the Straßenbahndepot next door around 100 years ago and has been open for cultural activities since 2014 by the ins Netz e.V. And it started with experimental events somewhere between table tennis and concerts, and now slowly developed into a more concert-based format. But as you heard, we try to diversify that also a little bit. So there's a lot of movement in this house, and we are recently part of a newer development in the city's cultural landscape. So there is talks about a Kunsthaus für Jena, which was brought up by Jena Kultur and the Verein Ein Kunsthaus für Jena, and TRAFO is among the last candidates as a venue for that. So stay in touch and keep your eyes on the Twitter headlines if you want to be part of that or want to see what happens in this neighborhood. And yeah, all of this would not be possible without our sponsors, especially Carl Zeiss Foundation, Kulturstiftung Thüringen, Jena Kultur, and the Katie Fellows Program bei Hochschulwettbewerb im Wissenschaftsjahr 2022 nachgefragt. Last but not least, I want to thank to all the donators and sponsors that help us during our crowdfunding campaign. And yeah, you're happy to leave more donations in the big bucket outside. And with that, I give it to Elodie.
I would like especially to thank you this year's science partners who also support us financially. The Funginet Collaborative Research Center, the Impulse Research Consortium, the Cluster of Excellence Balance of the Microverse, the Profile-Aligned Life of the Friedrich Schiller Universität Jena, and the Research Consortium Infect Control. Thanks for your support. But of course, it's not just about money, it's also about science. So we are very pleased to collaborate this year with the Funginet Research Group of the HKI, and also the Infection Biology and Applied Systems Biology of the HKI, as well as the Leibniz Institute for Photonic Technology, the Impulse Research Consortium, And also the Deutsches Optisches Museum, which participates as a science partner also a second time, like we already participated last year. Also close partner is the Friedrich Schiller Universität. Here I can name the Department of Biological Psychology and Cognitive Neurosciences, the Department of Clinical Psychology, and also this year I'm very glad about it. We have also the Human Sciences and Social Sciences on board, the ComRex, which is the Center for Research on Right-Wing Extremism.